now our fourth presentation, Smarter Physical Security and IoT. In this session, we will discuss using data to automate decision-making and improve incident management, how to leverage video analytics for a safe return to the office, utilizing camera analytics to shed light on patterns and trends to improve operations. More about this topic we will hear from Boyana Boncheva and Jared Oswad. Boyana, Territory Account Manager, Cisco Meraki, and Jared, Europe, the Middle East and Africa Product Sales Lead and IoT. Boyana joined Cisco Systems in 2016. She took over the management of the SMB sector in German-speaking part of Switzerland and Liechtenstein, after that London, and now she took over management of Croatia, Slovenia and the Balkans for Cisco Meraki. Jared joined Cisco in 2015 and initially being tasked with developing and expanding Cisco's cloud networking photoprint for Meraki in Germany, and recently focused on growing Cisco's photoprint further with all things IoT and smart CCTV. Boyana, Jared, welcome.
Hello, Alma. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for the warm introduction. From my end to our audience as well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Wherever you're geographically based, we are more than welcome. We're more than happy to welcome you to Cisco Meraki's premiere at the vSecurity Summit 2022. Probably most of you are already familiar with Cisco Meraki's cloud managed platform. However, today Jared and myself will open the door for you to Cisco Meraki's smarter physical security and IoT, and we'll talk with you about solutions that will help you meet the challenges of tomorrow today. 30 minutes is not a lot of time, so without any further ado, I will jump right into it so that we have a few minutes in the end for taking any questions you might have. So, safety and security is always evolving. It is protecting people, property, and creating safer environments. The core responsibilities of any physical security solution is to mitigate risk, prevent loss, and protect profits. However, it shouldn't be surprising if I say that in the last 2 years, we have been living in completely unprecedented times. According to the COVID-19 impact reports, 92% of organizations find physical security now more important than ever compared to the period before the pandemic. 85% of organizations take workplace health and safety of greater considerations compared to the same period. And 94% of organizations and companies believe that technology can help them provide safer work environments. Yes, priorities are shifting as we speak, but although organizations acknowledge the increasing strategic importance of their physical security solutions, they now have a lot more new responsibilities. They need to be able to adapt to hybrid work while reducing costs and improving efficiency for their employees. They also need to provide their own customers with an improved, better, and differentiated end customer experience. It gets extra complicated because the technology that they're using was not built to meet the requirements of this ever-changing, fast-paced world. And organizations are challenged to adapt their environment to the changing world. Existing technology was designed for yesterday's problems, and we need a new way of doing things. New challenges require a new and innovative approach. And the brutally honest truth is that getting information about physical worlds isn't as easy as it seems. Video is a great source of information, but current technologies makes it hard to use for some unique customer situations where it could bring the most value. The reason is that heavy-duty infrastructure requirements make solutions very hard to scale. Current systems consist of multiple components. Think of cameras, storage, network video recorders, VMS systems, and all of these components need to be individually configured in order to work together. Manual update on one component of the system could cause another component to stop working. And if you fail to update, you could actually expose your organization to security and vulnerability risks. Most systems nowadays do not offer end-to-end encryption, and when it is indeed possible, it is extra complicated to set up. Systems are often designed in a way that they're not flexible enough, which makes them hard to adapt. And the bottom line is that complexity costs time, resource, and money, but worst of all, it can lead to compromises in security and usability. In order for organizations to adapt, they need to have this visibility in their environments. Until they know what's going on in their environment, they cannot take actionable insights, they cannot start to improve and optimize their environments. And they cannot give answers to these very key strategic questions. Where is there an opportunity to reduce costs in production? How can I ensure that my employees enjoy health and safety in their workplace? How can I increase my employees' productivity? And what can I do to provide my customers with a better and differentiated experience? Last but not least, how can we achieve our sustainability goals? Well, imagine, what if you weren't restricted to your physical security solution standard capabilities? What if your security solution, your cameras and IoT deployment could detect objects that were unique to your organization's requirements and needs? What if you could repurpose your existing cameras to do new things and just in a matter of seconds? And what if your physical and IoT solution can solve problems which are unique to your daily operations? And you could do all of that without becoming a machine learning expert. Yes, there is a different way of doing things. And to show you the Cisco Meraki way and the Cisco Meraki approach to solving these requirements, I'm now going to pass it over to Jared. Jared, over to you.
Thanks, Boyana. And what a great introduction and segue into the next part of this presentation this morning. Really excited to be here. It's my first time presenting at this summit, and I hope I can bring the product and some of the solutions and use cases that Meraki can provide using our new smart physical CCTV solution, but also other IoT products in this range. And really, I want to leave you with the thought of let's change the way we actually think about physical security to provide our customers with a better outcome, a better experience, and a better overall solution. So to start that, we need to look at what is our mission here. And our mission is that Meraki MV smart cameras are designed to solve the problems of today so that organizations can go away and focus on what's truly important. And you'll see that theme running out through today's presentation. Boyana already mentioned some of the parts earlier, and that's when we need to look at traditional architecture. Meraki comes from a place where we looked at wireless initially. It was based on premise, managed by controllers. It was complex, it wasn't easy to scale, and it wasn't easy to manage. And this is where we looked at traditional CCTV architecture, loads of different components, complexity, hard to scale, cameras, storage, VMS systems, on-premise servers, things that you're probably all aware of today. It's a very, very crowded market. So when we looked at traditional architecture, we wanted to simplify this, and that's always been the Meraki way. And we thought, how can we remove a majority of these components, mitigate the security risks, and provide a simple, secure, and scalable solution for our customers? And that's where we went and we reinvented this architecture. And this is where everything is in the box. We eliminate the need for NVRs, VMSs, servers, additional analytics softwares, and we do everything out of the box. The reason for that is all the storage is on the camera. We use Meraki's proprietary cloud architecture to connect to the devices and can therefore provide you local and remote video access. So no more driving on site, firing up an NVR, accessing the footage, downloading and exporting. You're now able to access that footage from anywhere you are in the world. Now, on top of that, that's just looking at physical security. But inside every single Meraki CCTV camera, there's also a smart processing chip. So we also start analyzing video on the camera in real time to provide you with even more benefits straight out of the box again. So these are the 4 pillars that we focus on when we talk about smart CCTV. Number 1 is scalability that I've already mentioned, on camera storage, cloud management, and no need for any of those on-prem devices. Now, that also ties into the overall cost of the solution, the ROI for you, but also helps you achieve your sustainability goals because it's additional hardware products that no longer need to be powered. Security. Security is always at the forefront for Cisco. As soon as the Cisco label is on it, it has to be secure in its nature. Each device has a dedicated hardware security chip. We encrypt video at rest on the camera and in transit. You'll also receive automatic updates over the air because it's a cloud-based solution. So if there is any vulnerabilities or threats detected, we automatically update and patch all our devices globally. This is already a groundbreaking feature over traditional systems, as you would have to manually enter and patch those devices. Finally, secure user accounts with two-factor authentication with a multitude of different solutions you can utilize. Agile access, so local and remote viewing that I've already mentioned, but we offer a multitude of ways that you can access the footage you need with our browser-based dashboard application, with the Meraki dashboard, Meraki Vision, but also a mobile application and dedicated application for Mac and Windows. So wherever you are in the world, you can access the footage you need and export and share that with any authorities that may need to access that. And finally, the intelligence, smarts, providing motion analytics, detection of people, vehicles, sirens, alarms, and audio analytics, and also the capability to use APIs to plug into any additional fire, theft, and security systems you may have on site. So here we are, and what's the next step for video intelligence? Well, it's a cloud-first platform that puts AI straight at the edge. If you want to do all of these intelligent things that we're going to speak about today, and analytics and so forth, you usually need a lot of compute, but all of our cameras have already got a smart chip installed, which means we can do all that straight at the edge. So it gives you the flexibility to address use cases beyond just physical security. It also extends that business value to other departments. So no longer are we siloed into just physical security, but also working with IT, working with human resources, working with marketing. There's a ton of different applications and use cases that can be drawn from using our physical security solution. And we're able to adapt to existing infrastructure, but also to address new needs as our customers and partners and service providers start moving more and more services to the cloud, and remote accessibility becomes key to being able to thrive in this new hybrid world. So one of the first simple features we deployed on our CCTV cameras was being able to react and respond faster. So that's no need to drive on site, no need to go and download to access that footage and traipse through hours and hours of different video events. We can just identify specific motion events because we use something called motion-based recording and retention. So we can understand when there's motion, when there's people, objects. So I'm easily able to select a specific area where there may have been an incident. I'm able to retroactively go back over that footage and only export the footage that I need easily. I can share that as a link, a live link, or download and date and timestamp that. The average time it takes someone to find the incident footage, download, and export is anything between 2 and 8 hours. With the Meraki solution, we take that down to around 2 minutes. So the ROI for you is imminent. Additional features that I've already mentioned using the intelligence. So office space occupancy, desk and meeting room level data detection, understanding how people are using our office spaces today, what desks are booked, what meeting rooms are booked, and understanding how many people are actually coming in to use those spaces. Usually these will require additional tools and analytics, but it's something Meraki does straight out of the box again with MV Sense. Talking about MV Sense, this is our analytics platform that plugs in straight to our cameras. Now, what does MV Sense do? Well, it gives us the ability for on-camera processing and intelligence using things like historical aggregates, snapshots, and real-time feeds to analyze not just the video footage, but all the raw data coming into that camera, things like lighting and audio as well, straight out of the box. So we can start doing things like machine learning, computer vision, and that's without the need for any additional software or infrastructure. This gives you the option to enable ecosystem technology partners to offer even more amazing solutions for your business straight at the edge. A lot of the stuff we did during COVID times was things like PPE detection, wayfinding, navigation, and hundreds of more that you can find on our Meraki.io website. Also, straight built-in analytics. So again, no need for additional edge here. We can use people and vehicle detection, the office occupancy that I've already mentioned, and audio analytics for a variety of use cases. And this is a very, very powerful tool across many different verticals. And we'll take a look at those in a moment a little bit more closely. But we can start analyzing customer behavior patterns, staffing needs, queue wait times, conference and meeting room occupancy, long-term facilities planning, but also alarm system and access control integration. So a multitude of use cases that can be applied, again, straight out of the box without the need for any additional hardware or software. So looking at the office space, first of all, how do we leverage video to create a smart workspace? Well, we look at occupancy. We track occupancy for safety and long-term facilities planning. Do we have the right sized office spaces that meet the needs of our growing workforce today? And then the resource use, managing desk and meeting room availability. And this overall will improve the overall employee productivity. Also security, integrating with access control to monitor for tailgating or suspicious entry activity. We make IT and the office smarter. Looking at things like manufacturing and warehousing. So safety being our main issue here, looking at PPE compliance, improving worker safety, making sure they are wearing the right protective equipment for their job. Quality control, looking at things like detecting defects in manufacturing and monitoring and improving the overall quality of that product in that space. Things like resourcing, detecting pallets to get insights into current capacities. And as an example of this, I've got many customers in the retail and manufacturing space, and one of the biggest problems they often have is capacity planning and understanding how full these spaces are and understanding where to move them next. And that's, again, where we use video analytics to improve the safety and quality control and effectiveness in these spaces. One of the most, I guess, interesting areas to deploy for us is always retail. We do a lot in retail, and this is where we want to create a better customer experience. We get insights into the occupancy of individual stores, wait times, and can adjust staffing needs appropriately to meet the needs of that store. We can compare a multitude of different locations with one another to look at performance based on revenue, wait times, and turnaround times. A really important metric, not just for the business as a whole, but for stakeholders, executives. Quality experience, because we can start optimizing store layouts and improve the overall order quality for our customers, and reducing loss as we're able to track high value assets, prevent theft, and integrate with point of sale systems to help identify any type of fraudulent returns that may be happening to mitigate any further shrinkage for our customers. So again, here we're optimizing layout, staffing, improving customer service, and reducing loss. So again, another great feature set provided by intelligent physical security. Now I get to a point where I want to talk to you about more than just video. Physical security doesn't just stop at physical security of that space. What Cisco Meraki can offer you is the combination of cameras, environmental sensors, and network data to provide you a complete picture of that physical world. And that's where it brings me to the second part of my presentation today, and it's looking at environmental sensors as well. And it's understanding the environmental security of that space, things like temperature, humidity, looking at refrigeration, water leak, door open close for intrusion detection, an air quality sensor to understand the air quality in those different spaces, looking at things like total volatile organic compounds, particulate matter, but then also a smart automation button to make all of these points more intelligent. Now, again, as with our physical security systems, these work instantly, connect to the cloud, and we use BLE to connect to the existing camera infrastructure with Meraki MB that's already there. It gives you instant access to all of that data. And this is groundbreaking technology in the market as well. It's battery powered. So we've got 5 years of battery lifespan over those, and they're going to connect within 60 seconds to the Meraki cameras, and you've got a full picture of what's going on in that specific environment. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to make technology to make your spaces smarter. At the top, cloud managed wireless access points. That's where Meraki's come from and what we're known for. Moving into smart cameras, IoT enabled sensors, but also a range of different API partners that we can integrate with to make all of these spaces more intelligent, more secure, and more automated. So let's take a look at some of the trends in this space. And experiences are influenced by this hyper-connected space. As you probably all know, in your homes now, you've probably got IoT devices deployed, be that an Amazon Smart Dash button, be that a Hive heating system. And this is why this is a digitized space for growth, supporting for over 1 million devices per square kilometer area by 2040. And that's up from 60,000 today. And that comes from the Institute for the Future. So we're going to have to support this growing need for these devices coming online. Over 29.3 billion network devices, which is already up by 60% from 2018. But then we need to start looking at the analytics from these IoT and CCTV devices, because 73% of current IoT projects are active with big data analytics. And this is where you can be involved exactly in that space. So the smart space solution has got to enable insights, end-to-end visibility into all of those physical and digital domains. Automation, it needs to be easy to use, it needs to be seamless, and it needs to be scalable across multiple sites so that you can reduce the cost and reduce the management that needs to go into these solutions and focus on what really matters to your business. Security, we need to safeguard every layer of that network from the firewall to the edge. Connectivity, we need to keep everyone and everything connected within our business and have the visibility to thrive. And for me, one of the most important factors for anything we do in business today, we need to have sustainability in mind. We need to start conserving resources with real-time environmental monitoring, understanding what's going on in our businesses and utilizing less hardware more effectively to do what we need to do. And this is where I come to exactly that point, sustainability. How can we help you as a business be more sustainable, reduce your energy consumption, water wastage? Well, it's using CCTV and smart environmental sensors, reducing food waste by integrating to electronic shelf labeling. Smart cameras reduce the need to travel and deploy and maintain and update on site. We can do it all remotely. Occupancy-based lighting understands where people move in offices and spaces and can, through API, trigger off those FMS systems that you're using. Air quality, a really defining factor for us today, being able to promote health and safety and improve the overall HVAC efficiency of your organization. Water leak detection, preventing water waste, avoiding spoiled goods, and preventing water damage to buildings or infrastructures. Again, here with door open close sensors, reducing waste, HVAC efficiency and security of a closed space and understanding who is entering that. Temperature and humidity sensors to prevent IT failure, prevent spoiled goods and cold chain monitoring, but also simple things like energy saving schedules, switching off Wi-Fi or PoE powered devices out of hours to again reduce the amount of power being consumed in that space. So a range of different solutions coming from physical security to environmental data that we can deploy for you today, cloud managed, simple, secure, and scalable. So I want to leave you with a couple of thoughts at the end of this presentation before we go into a couple of questions. And this is my executive summary and my takeaway for you today. And that's that Cisco Meraki is trusted to simplify experiences everywhere, not just in CCTV or in IoT, but everything from SD-WAN, security, to switching, routing, wireless, and cellular backhaul for all of these devices as well. We've got over 3.6 million customer networks under management, over 640,000 customers, and operate in over 190 countries worldwide. And this is ever growing. So if you're looking for a partner that you can really trust with security at the forefront, Cisco Meraki is here to serve that. Now, looking at the two product lines we discussed today in IoT, focusing on physical security. I think these are really important data points to bear in mind when moving from a traditional analog or even sometimes server-based solution to a cloud-based Meraki solution. And that's that across our customer base, we return an average of a 43% ROI, a 75% saving on maintenance costs, a 60% reduction of video storage costs by reducing the need for NVR or DVR, 98% in time savings to access and share your video footage. And going back to that final point on sustainability again, reducing the energy consumption of that solution by around 30%, which is massive. Now, when we start looking at environmental sensors, the return on investment becomes even higher, 175% ROI on average, reducing downtime of devices in that space and nearly 27% in energy reduction when looking at cooling and infrastructure data. Those are the few points I want to leave you with today. And as a next step, I've also added our contact details for myself and Boyana, who manages the region. So if you do have any questions, would like to see the solution a little bit closer, or have a demo yourself, then please reach out to us. Back to you guys in the studio again.
Thank you, Boyana. Thank you, Jared. Great presentation. I would have a few questions for you. I will start with my first. How is data encrypted when recording and going into the cloud?
That's a great question. So data is always encrypted at rest and in transit. So we have a dedicated hardware security chip on every one of the cameras, which means that data is encrypted using HTTPS and then also encrypted whilst traveling into the cloud. We also use SSL inspection, two-factor authentication, but also have full disk encryption.
Thank you. One more. How do the devices connect to the cloud? Using normal switch ports or?
That's another great question. They're cloud-based, so we connect them via Power over Ethernet. So you can use a free switch port, but also Meraki provides switches themselves. So you're able to utilize or provide a single pane of glass solution that can connect to either your existing PoE ports or using a Meraki switch. So you're able to deploy and scale far easier. Another feature is that the CCTV cameras we offer, and I'll kind of hold up two here for you now. You can see they're really nice and small form factor. They also use wireless. So you could also power them via a traditional AC unit and could connect them via your traditional wireless infrastructure as well.
Thank you, Jared. My next question. What other security products does Meraki offer in this space?
So Meraki's product portfolio is quite extensive. So anything from wireless access security, mobile device management, SD-WAN to connect and secure all of your different sites globally, but also to 4G wireless backhaul. So it's a very extensive portfolio and it's all cloud-based, which means it's all secure, simple, and scalable for you to use as a business.
Thank you, Jared. Two more questions. Is there a way to test Meraki cameras or sensors for free?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that question. Boyana, do you want to take that for us?
Sure, I can take over this one. Probably the ones who are already using any products from the Meraki family know that we have available free trials. So if you're based in a EU country, you can test any devices for free. Unfortunately, Meraki devices are still not possible in non-EU countries, but if you're based in any of those countries, please reach out to us. We have some way around, work with our local distributors in the area. So we'll be able to provide you free testing equipment for a minimum of 30 days. If needed, it can be extended. And in the end, there's no obligations. If for some reason, even that's unlikely, you decide that you don't want to continue, you can return it. But if you'd like to keep it, we definitely have a process for that in place.
Thank you, Boyana. And one more question, my last question. Are artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies essential in helping identify critical problems from thousands of seemingly unrelated incidents to prevent them?
I'll pick this one up. And I think it's absolutely critical. As our workspace, office, and lives evolve, we need to become more automated. Machine learning and AI is the way forwards. Our cameras can do these natively. It means that we don't need to have individuals physically looking and analyzing video footage to determine processes or outcomes. We can use AI and machine learning to train algorithms and train models straight on that camera to be able to analyze and give us those outcomes in real time, even down to things like looking at a flower and looking how that flower grows and becomes larger. Loads of little things like that. Our cameras can identify the smallest changes in those. So if there is one big takeaway that I'd like to leave everyone with, it's thinking about how can you become smarter in what you do today? How can you automate those processes for using AI and ML?
Thank you, Boyana. Thank you, Jared. Thank you for this great answering for everything in your presentation. Thank you once more.
Thank you once again for having us, and reach out to us and have a great day.